Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, leaving a comment, leaving a like, or subscribing, all these things do help with the algorithm and my YouTube ranking. They are very much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed. Yeah, new research has found that the annual transaction volume on the Bitcoin network has surpassed that of some well-known card networks such as American Express and Discover Card in 2021. The Sunday New York Dig Research Weekly reported that Bitcoin processed $3 trillion worth of payments during 2021, placing it well above popular credit card networks American Express at $1.3 trillion and Discover Card at $0.5 trillion. A very big metric that a lot of people have been trying to follow over the course of it's been about a good 7 or 8 years. This was also used as one of the negatives to Bitcoin early on, was that no one's using Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't transacting anything. During the early days, a lot of people would make sure to note that Bitcoin had only transacted 15 million that month, maybe $38 million. And then when we finally got to $1 billion, the idea was, well, it's still nowhere near Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover Card, any other payment network. People were naming very obscure things as well. And as Bitcoin continues to grow year after year and more people are using it, now we are passing by all of these companies. And this was also quite large news at the end of 2019, 2020, and also portion of 2021, where the numbers actually show that Bitcoin market cap wise was larger than a wide range of companies that are currently listed on stock exchanges around the world. And now Bitcoin is currently processing a lot more than them as well. The report authors, New York Dig Global Head of Research, his name is Greg Kipolaro, and research analyst Ethan Kochav, also found that Bitcoin's network had settled more transaction volumes in Q1 of 2021 than all credit card networks combined for the entire year. They said this is astonishing growth in our opinion for a payment network that has only been around for 13 years. American Express issued its first card in 1958 and Discover Card in 1985. However, the Bitcoin network still has a way to go before catching up to Visa and MasterCard, which processed $13.5 trillion for Visa and $7.7 trillion in transactions for Bitcoin. But I think that they know that this is coming. This is going to happen. At some point, Bitcoin is going to surpass them. Why do I say this? Do you remember last year, the news that we were getting? Visa and MasterCard, respectively, both came out in support of accepting cryptocurrency payments as a third-party member, if you will. So as opposed to you just normally being able to send Bitcoin to me or me being able to send Bitcoin to you through the network, as is the point of the blockchain, they will now stand as a gatekeeper, a guard for all payments that are trying to be processed so that they can also get a tiny portion of that as well. Because at some point, it is going to far surpass them, and people will come to realize, hey, we don't need Visa or MasterCard at all. And this is why they're getting into the space now, to be able to shake hands with regulators to say this should be the only way that Bitcoin will be able to be transacted throughout countries. But alas, we'll see exactly how that turns out. This is absolutely massive news. A lot of times, once again, when you talk about the actual metrics of the growth and strength of the Bitcoin network and also the cryptocurrency space and how much larger we continue to get all the time, this news very rarely actually makes it into the cryptocurrency spotlight. It's usually news about upgrades, updates, new coins that are coming out, which one is faster, which one is better, which one is so and so and so. And keep this in mind. This is the movement on the Bitcoin network with a $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 transaction fee. Just imagine when the Lightning Network is fully adopted and Bitcoin's transaction fees are less than 1 cent. How many more people will be using it at that time? I think this is also another chart. Yeah, here's the actual chart right here, or rather a graph, if you will, number, showing it says Bitcoin surpasses American Express in annual transaction volume. Quite fascinating news. I do not think enough people pay attention to news like this because it shows exactly how Bitcoin is taking over the world. But alas, at least you got to see it. Alrighty, let's move on. Next up, on Tuesday, Ripple, which specializes in solutions for cross-border payments and modular finance, that is MODULR, it looks like modular, but is missing some letters, which offers a payments as a service API platform for digital businesses, announced a new partnership. According to a joint press release, these two fintech leaders will make it easier than ever for businesses like Trust Payments to run real-time payments internationally, powered by Ripple's financial technology known as RippleNet. Using Modular's technology, global businesses have an alternative to legacy correspondent banking and can now make payments into the United Kingdom and Europe faster, more reliable, and cost-effective. Ripple and Modular plan to provide real-time, price-competitive, and reliable payments into UK/Europe from the Asia, Pacific, North America, Latin America, and Middle East regions. The press release went on to say that since inception, Modular has focused on building a seamless payment as a service solution into the European and UK payment rails. Regardless of what apparently is still going on within the United States between Ripple and the US SEC, we have gotten a rather steady stream of announcements of proper partnerships, looking at you lumens, with Ripple and other companies around the world. I wonder the actual true extent of this as far as I feel like usually, like I say, when we have this kind of really important news, a lot of times people forget 6 or 7 days later that this news actually took place. It kind of disappears in people's minds. People hear that there is a new Ripple partnership and they go, well, that's cool. They haven't had a partnership in a very long time. Ripple has had at least 15 to 20 different partnerships since last summer. That's what I mean, the actual extent of this, like how much money is going to be going through these systems. What other partnerships do they have lined up? What other companies are they talking to within the United States who are waiting for the lawsuit to actually end? Because especially all the things going through RippleNet, if as far as I understand from the many long ago from people screaming at me in the comment section, I'm pretty certain that RippleNet is using XRP in the background as everything has been kind of smashed together. So XRP is kind of the final transaction layer or things that are happening on the XRP ledger. Yeah, this is quite significant once again. It's happening all the time. It's very interesting to see, and thank goodness that they actually continue to do proper work and to expand regardless of what's happening within the United States. I think a lot of people are a little, the word isn't down, but I think it's important to keep these things in mind. Whenever we do talk about these coins, they're constantly always in the news. Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano. I think a lot of times people fixate a little bit too hard just on the prices and forget the actual work that's happening behind the scenes. If you partner with 20, 30, 40 different, companies over the course of a 2-year period who are actually going to be using your coin, this is quite significant for when the market will eventually move back up in price because these companies will still be using the coin. Fascinating, no? Yes, that's the Ripple news. Here's the actual press release between the both of them. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, according to the findings of a new survey, the number of financial advisors currently counseling crypto holding clients is expected to double from the current 2 out of 10 or 20% to, that is, okay, definitely 20%, to 44% by the end of 2022. The number of financial advisors in the United States that currently counsel their clients on crypto holdings is expected to double in 2022, a new study has found. According to the study, which surveyed wealth management experts based in the United States, this predicted rise in the number of investors to 44% is in tandem with their expectation that more clients, around 33%, will likely become holders of crypto by the end of 2022. You might remember the numbers that we had just a couple of days ago about the amount of people who are expected to be in the cryptocurrency space by the end of this year. The number that we currently have, it is believed that we are roughly around, I believe, 200 million people on the planet who are actively into the cryptocurrency space or actually in the cryptocurrency space. By the end of this year, it is expected to be over 1 billion people. Thus, I assume this is where this number is coming from, as the amount of people who are looking to get into the cryptocurrency space continues to be more and more every single day, regardless of if prices are actually moving up. This is only going to accelerate as we actually have more people looking at Bitcoin's price. Should the market continue to rise, of course, logically, more people are going to want to get in as to not miss any proper wealth or money that could potentially be created. Keeping in mind, this is also a survey just for U.S. advisors, which is also tying, once again, don't forget all this news. That's tying also into the news that we also had confirmation from that New York Dig, who's always in the news now, is helping 300 different banks inside of the United States to actually set it up so that their clients can buy, sell, hold, trade, custody, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Usually it focuses on Bitcoin, but you kind of understand the entire idea. The hyper-Bitcoinization movement is happening directly in front of our eyes. This is why I think we've also seen since the beginning of this year a number of different countries announcing their cryptocurrency taxation rates. Why I think we saw India say, okay, it's time to tax it, as opposed to being like, we're going to ban it, because they know exactly where the market is going, even though they may pretend that they don't in some sort of capacity. But yes, this is quite incredible. This will only continue. I think that a very large part of the market tends to be people, of course, logically, who have an enormous amount of or any type of disposable income at the end of a month. People are continuing to put money into the market, but it's more of the stragglers. When they enter the market, that is meant to be the moment of actual adoption, because we are still in the very early adoption phase. Don't forget the numbers that have been quoted to us when we have X amount of people in this market and exactly how high this market is expected to go, not only in 5 years, but in 10 years. And then I always say, if these are the number projections for a 5 to 10 year period, what happens in 15 years, 20 years, 30, 35 years? How big is the market then? Yes, that's the more people are definitely going to be getting into the cryptocurrency market news. And without further ado, let's move on. My nose is so stuffed and it's driving me absolutely insane. Oh no, it's still winter. Never mind. I was going to say it's not even winter anymore. Alrighty, let's move on. In don't forget news, in an official post, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, or COPA, has welcomed Meta, formerly known as Facebook, to its board. The organization called it the biggest cryptocurrency patent commitment to data, as the big tech company joins Coinbase and Block, which is led by Jack Dorsey. As the post has revealed, Meta will be represented by Shane O'Reilly as the company's representative. O'Reilly will be in charge of managing Meta's licensing and transactions group. The company has committed to effectively making their cryptocurrency-related patents free to use by anyone. That is very, very important. You do not normally hear of anything like this happening, whether it be in cryptocurrency or any other type of form. Usually, of course, you can go to GitHub to get things for free, or open source, yada, yada, yada. But the fact that a very large company like this is announcing that they're trying to do this, there's definitely a reasoning behind it. The big tech corporation behind social media, Instagram and WhatsApp, has been making a push into the digital sphere. Their hyper rebranding was part of that effort. Its CEO, Zuckerberg, expects the metaverse to become a major part of the future and is looking to become a leader in the sector for the coming decades. According to COPA, this announcement solidifies their position as one of the most important cryptocurrency patent alliances. The organization seeks to create an open source focused environment across multiple sectors for people to access the core technologies related to digital assets and blockchain. Facebook Meta is under a hyper rebranding right now. They lost a lot of people's faith, trust over the last couple of years. We've seen a couple of days ago, they got rid of or have sold the stable coin that they were trying to create. They axed every other digital currency that they were also trying to create other stable coins based off of world currencies. We had news a couple of days ago that apparently we saw the patent. They're trying to work with Brazil and Brazilian authorities to, to actually make a patent for items and things that will be used within Brazil to actually use Bitcoin as a payment method. Something really weird is going on. Facebook has, for a very long time, this is why I said, don't forget exactly what Facebook is, regardless of this rebrand. They use people's data as a way to make money. a lot of people, a lot of the news that we've been getting collectively over the last couple of weeks as to what Facebook, now Meta, is actually doing has been, we want to make things more open. We are making sure that you have control over this and you have access to this. And we're making sure that any patents that we have are also free to use by you. You can open source, blah, 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 all these other kind of things. But don't forget that they're going to be incorporating some type of digital currencies into their platform at some point in the future. This is the way that you're going to be able to buy things onto their platform. They're doing this along with their own metaverse to make sure that you spend all of your time there. Everything that you say, everything that you do, everyone that you talk to, everything that you buy will be recorded and will be held by Facebook and their computers and their servers forever. Don't ever forget this. I think that the rebranding is quite smart because it's going to get a lot of people who will simply hear the name Meta and go, I love Meta. Meta sounds really cool. I'm also using a metaverse. I see my kids using a metaverse. I see my friends using a metaverse. So let me start using this as well. And people will forget quite quickly what Facebook's business model actually is. You always have to remember, if something is free, what's the saying? It's usually you that's the product. So if all of their services are free for you to use and jump into, it means they're trying to sell you something or they're taking your data as a form of payment. And I don't know if, and I mentioned this many other times, but I don't know if I ever showed you the actual thing. Don't forget, 2.5 years ago, Facebook had a very aggressive ad campaign. And the only reason that they announced any of this is because people who were working for them actually came forward to announce what Facebook was doing with your data. And they made an ad campaign basically saying, that's not who we are. We've never wanted to do that. We're so sorry that this happened. We're going to make sure that this never happens again. You know that Facebook is still free, right? What do you think they're doing with all that data? They don't simply save it. It gets sold to other companies. Everything you do on that platform is going to get sold. The fact that they're creating things and leaving the patents open means absolutely nothing for your data or anyone else's data on their platform. Just because that they've scrapped the actual usage of their stablecoin and the alleged rumors that they may be using Bitcoin and or the Lightning Network on their platform to have transactions going through their systems, they are going to be the middleman. They are going to be collecting fees for the transactions that you're sending, but also collecting your data as to what you're buying, what you're looking at, and who you're hanging out with in these spaces. So, yeah, there's a lot of Facebook rebranding news over the last couple of weeks. Of course, it's all coordinated. It's meant to be put out there as a, well, they seem like a very different company. I know a lot of people already know these things, but always make sure to remind yourself and your friends what Facebook has been since 2005 and what they're going to continue to be. There's a reason why they're a leader in the social media space and why they continue making tons of money every single year. They're making the money from somewhere. Alrighty, let's move on. And to finish things off, Backed, that is B-A-K-T, Backed has recently announced that Hanover Bank will integrate with its platform to expand access to Bitcoin and to Ethereum. The New York-based financial institution will be part of Backed's early adopter program and will be able to connect to the cryptocurrency platform via its mobile banking app. Founded in 2009 with $1.5 billion in total assets, Hanover Bank has joined Backed's program to provide its customers with more financial freedom and to help them achieve their financial goal, according to a press release. This is now, I believe, number 13 or 14 of the banks that we have been hearing about over the course since the beginning of this year who have entered the cryptocurrency space openly and or press conference Usually this news revolves around New York Dig, who is signing up the other 300 banks to slowly roll out Bitcoin things for their clients over the course of this year. Backed, which was released in 2018 or something like that from the New York Stock Exchange, has not found much success in what they were trying to do before, which was Bitcoin futures. I think they were trying to make Bitcoin ETFs. Of course, that did not work, which was really weird because they're the New York Stock Exchange. And a couple of other ventures, which all kind of completely fell flat on its face. So I assume now the other really quick, easy way to make money, especially for a long time, is to start partnering with the banks who were looking to get into the digital cryptocurrency space or offer it to their clients, with back being the middleman or the third party to also take fees in transactions, as they do have a reputable name, as they are associated with /R, the New York Stock Exchange. This adoption level is actually completely insane. I think a lot of people are really not, and I know I say this often, it's simply because it's actually true. People aren't paying attention to how fast that this is all actually working. If we had news in 2017 was a mega speculative year. It was the idea that Amazon might allow Bitcoin as payment. We might have Bitcoin and another coin on eBay to be able to use it for transactions. There was a bank rumored that was going to also accept Bitcoin as well. Now the fact that we have all of this stuff going on, this is absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people are waiting on the sidelines, my opinion, for Bitcoin to continue to go up, and then they'll buy into the market, not really understanding that if we have confirmation that 300 banks are getting into the cryptocurrency space this year, plus whatever banks backed is also onboarding as well, plus the other banks around the world, especially in Germany and Switzerland and Portugal and France that we've also been hearing about, and in Australia and in Thailand and many other places, who are creating not only cryptocurrency exchanges, but also banks are going to be offering crypto to their clients. Where do you think these banks and institutions are getting their Bitcoin from? They're buying up as much as possible while prices are down. And it actually had like a lightning bolt going through my head, because this is, of course, going to be the supply shock that we've been talking about. They're buying up everything as much as they possibly can while prices are low, and they make sure that prices remain low so that they can buy up as much as humanly possible. Yeah, so here's the actual press release for it right here. Insane times ahead. Insane. We are experiencing levels of adoption that we've never seen before, and it's only going to continue to get more and more from here. But just make sure that not only are you paying attention, but that hopefully your portfolio is reflecting the future changes that we are seeing now and that we are going to see in the future. Right. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.